Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about a short story within this short story collection called A Good Man is Hard to Find. Flannery O'Connor wrote this gripping story. It is an example of Gothic literature, and it was published in 1955. The story starts off at her son's home, where the grandmother is there with her son's family. Bailey, who is her son, wants to go to Florida on vacation, whereas the grandmother wants to go to East Tennessee to see some of her connections. The grandmother sees an article saying that there is a convict in the Florida area called the Misfit. So she uses this bit of information to add intensity to her desire to go to East Tennessee instead. The grandmother is a major character in this short story. She is egocentric and smug, and I think a lot of readers will be able to see themselves in the grandmother, because none of us are perfect. In this way, Flannery O'Connor successfully draws her readers into the story and makes us think about our own imperfections. The grandmother is keen on looking smart so that if she dies on the road, she will be seen as a lady. Many of us want to be seen for our positions in society rather than our value as human beings. And the grandmother is no different. While in the car, the grandmother tells the family about when she was courted by a man who became very wealthy, and she is clearly very proud that she was courted by him and that he became very wealthy. These sort of comments are clearly leaving the teachings of the Bible behind. Again, we can relate to the grandmother as someone similar to us. They stop at a roadside tower restaurant, complete with a dance floor and an amusing monkey, and have some barbecued sandwiches. The grandmother chats to the owner, called Red Sam, about the way people aren't as nice, evidently, as they used to be. They ultimately complain about the situation of life rather than show willingness to help improve life in America. They also show too much hatred, I think Flannery O'Connor is saying, for those who haven't succeeded in life, such as the misfit. So they continue on their journey. The grandmother thinks she can remember an interesting plantation that they've just passed. So she gets her son to turn around, and they go up a remote road. The grandmother realizes she is mistaken and feels embarrassed. As a result, she disturbs the cat, who jumps onto Bailey, who then crashes the car. 3 thugs turn up. The grandmother notices the convict, who's known as the misfit, and tells him that. So starts an interesting conversation between them both. The other 2 thugs are more minor characters in the story, and they kill the rest of the family. There is much focus on the standoff between the grandmother and the convict known as the misfit, and this is really an enlightening and interesting exchange. The grandmother recognizes some humanity in the misfit and realizes that as humans we are all connected, so in some way the human community has let the misfit down. He says during the exchange that there is no pleasure like meanness, but still the grandmother offers the convict grace and mercy. Finally, the convict loses patience with the grandmother and shoots her, and says a very nasty comment. Some people think this short story is too pessimistic. I think that's to misunderstand the story. A Good Man is hard to find is, in my mind, an ironic title. The author actually means that goodness can be found everywhere. And various characters in this story are misguided. Some people think it's unrealistic for a hardened criminal to suddenly think philosophically about Jesus. But I think this is realistic because it's a conscious decision to follow the wrong path in life. Thanks for watching. See you next time.